What's up, guys? So basically today I'm going to be explaining how to do the elephant pads, or the end pads people call them, or e-pads or bushings. People have many different names for them. They're basically the pads, as you can see, the upper and lower right there, the bottom green one, which is in the bucket. They're basically, I could not find any other videos on YouTube explaining how to do this, so I figured it'd be a pretty good idea to make one of these. So for instance, alright, so I replaced all four all around, so all eight technically, but you know, I did each one on both axles. This is the Camelback suspensions, 3840 on a Mack truck. So you see the Camelback over there. I'm trying to hold the phone and the camera at the same time best I can with the light. So basically, best way to explain this is, so if you're going to be working on this axle, say the front axle. Now I'm facing towards the front of the truck right now. So this is your front axle right here. There's your rear axle back there. Basically what you want to do is you're going to be supporting your front axle right here. This is the axle you're working on. So you're going to have your jack stands up somewhere underneath this front axle here. And then from there, you know, first thing you want to do though is take your wheels off, of course. Leave your brake drums on. So again, have your front axle supported. Then once your front axle is supported, from there you want to take your bolts out for your buckets right here. Let me show you. I can point to it. These two right here. I mean, all four of them bolts, you want to get them out. But only do one axle at a time, and I'll tell you why in a second. So you want to take that bucket off, and those nuts, see right up here, those are threaded. They actually thread into the top. Those ones have a nut and a bolt on them. Oh, there's a shadow from the camera. All right. But yeah, sometimes they can be very stubborn to get out. Like they can really be seized in there, and they can be a pain in the ass to get out. Basically what you want to do is, once you have your axle supported and you take your buckets off, from there, your bottom pads are, you know, very simple to get out. They just lift right out. Make sure when you put your new ones in that you set them in the groove. Now from there, you want to get a jack like I have here. This is an air jack. You want to get that under your rear axle, and you want to jack up your rear axle, and what that's going to do is going to pivot your leaf springs down, which is going to let you get the top pad out right there, the black pad. So once you pivot that down, you're going to have enough room to get that top pad out. But be careful, because what has happened and can happen is your axle can shift forward or backwards, and that's why I said leave your drum on, because you know, if it does happen, you're going to want to get a porta power or something, basically put it up against the rear tires back there, and then up against your drum here to push your axle back forward, so that way everything will line up correctly. So once you do that, you know, you get your top pad in, then you're going to want to lower your jack in the rear, and that is going to lift your T-spring up here. You basically lift the whole assembly back up and set your top pad back in where it should be. And same with the other side. Now, like I said, if your axle shifts, you're going to want to do one side at a time at that point. You get your pad in, put your bucket on, go over there, and basically, you know, if you have to put your porta power in or whatever and spread the axle back out to get it to sit right, you go from there. And that's pretty much it, and you just repeat the process for the other axle. So you would support your rear axle, take your buckets off, and then from there, you know, you're going to want to jack up the front axle, which will pivot on your trunnion. It'll pivot, and you'll be able to get your top pads out. So it's pretty simple. I don't know, it took me a couple hours, nothing crazy, maybe like 3 hours or so total. These can be a pain in the ass. It mainly took that long because of the nuts over there. You know, they give you all new hardware with everything, of course. And you know, I found these are bad because those pads should not move at all, like ever. And 3 out of 4 were moving, all the top pads, and you know, they just said go ahead and replace everything. So you know, if you're gonna do 3, I mean, you should do the 4th anyway. Make sure all brand new all the way around. And then, you know, just torque your bolts and nuts to spec, and you're good to go. Now, what made this so easy is this truck. Again, you're going to want to have to lift it up from the body because you want the suspension floating, as you see. But this truck has outriggers, so that made that a whole lot easier to be able to lift the whole truck up in the air. Yeah, there's your Camelback suspension there. Yeah, I hope I explained that well enough. You know, if there's any questions of any sort, just send me a message, and yeah, anything at all. If you have a question for anything heavy duty, anything at all, leave a comment below or send a message, and I'll, you know, help you the best I can. All right, thanks guys. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have any other questions or if you like my videos. All right, see you guys.